Hello Superset Maniacs and welcome back to my channel. We are 1 week out of the 2021 Arnold Classic. Personally, I'm very excited about this show. We have a pretty stacked lineup this year. In my last video I gave you guys my top 5 prediction for the show. If you haven't watched that one already, you can find a link in the description. But basically, in my opinion, the top 2 favorites to win this year's Arnold Classic are the reigning defending Arnold Classic champion William Bonac and the new sensation in town, Nick Walker. In this video I'm gonna be comparing them, but not in an usual side-by-side photo comparison, but in a side-by-side video footage comparison, for a better and more accurate analysis. So I'll be using William Bonac's 2020 Arnold Classic version and Nick Walker's 2021 New York Pro version, and without further ado, let's get to the comparison. We start with the front double biceps pose. They both look similar in the way that both of them have really powerful guns and neither of them have the most aesthetic look, both of them looking blocky with those wide waists. However, they hit the pose differently, Bonac choosing this variation with his torso slightly tilted and one arm lifted higher than the other, while Nick Walker hits this pose in a more conventional way. I believe Bonac is more inspired when it comes to the execution. He also seems to be having the more dominant biceps, him probably having the best biceps in bodybuilding today. Nick on the other hand has the wider frame and a better V-taper. I believe they present similar levels of conditioning, with maybe Nick Walker having a slight edge at this department at these respective shows, especially if we're looking downstairs. I believe this pose could go either way. Nick is probably more gifted overall for this pose, but William compensates with a more inspired execution. Front lat spread, and I bet that most of you were expecting Nick to be more dominant in this pose against Bonac, just like myself, but that's not the case, at least not for me. Nick is wider indeed, but yet again, I believe Bonac is doing a better job with the execution. His experience comes into play, I guess. Nick also has the disadvantage of having the longer torso, which combined with his wide waist and short legs proportionate to the rest of his body, really throw away his balance in this pose. In my opinion, William Bonac has the advantage in this pose. The side chest is another difficult pose to judge, both of them having powerful arms and shoulders and neither of them dominating the other when it comes to the chest. William Bonac wins downstairs though. He's got the more complete side leg, presenting more mass and separation. This is yet again a pose that if William is winning, he's got a minimal advantage, the smallest detail really being able to turn things around in Nick Walker's advantage at the Arnold next weekend. And we turn to the back for the back double biceps first, and once again we're looking at two world-class poses. Nick Walker is bigger upper body, no doubt, he's got the wider frame and the longer torso, and his biceps look better than Bonac's from the back. But William Bonac's muscle maturity comes into play in this pose. He's also got the way better detailed and separated back, those crazy low lat insertions. I believe his lats insert even lower than Kai's, which is nuts. They are very complete, both upper body and lower body. Once again, this pose could go either way, but once again, in my opinion, William Bonac has got a slight advantage. Back lat spread and Nick's width plays a key role here, as again, overall they match up pretty well. William has more muscle thickness in the lower region of his back, however overall Nick Walker seems to be having the advantage due to his wider lats and more detailed back. Bonac had a slight edge in the back double, and here in the rear lat spread, Nick Walker has the upper hand in my opinion, but neither of them is winning decisively. Side triceps, and by the looks of it, this is again a pose that could go either way, just like for every single pose until this point in the comparison. Nick has the thicker lateral head, but don't get me wrong, Bonac's tricep looks good as well. Bonac has the better execution again in my opinion. His pose simply flows better than Nick's, and once again, his superior side leg comes into play. Next is the abs and thighs, and this is the only pose in this comparison that I didn't have a hard time to judge because I believe Nick Walker is the clear winner. He's got the better midsection and the better V-taper, this being the reason William avoids to hit this pose in a conventional way probably. He is visibly uncomfortable in this pose, he knows he doesn't have the tools to hit a proper abs and thighs pose. Those crazy deep cuts in Nick Walker's quads are worth mentioning as well. Most muscular, and just like mentioned before, both of them have dominant arms and shoulders. Nick has the structure advantage being wider and he's also got the better midsection. William on the other hand looks to be having the thicker chest and the better separated shoulders. Downstairs Nick may be winning here, those details in his quads are really something else. William Bonac may be turning things in his favor in this pose with his crab most muscular variation, a variation that Nick Walker avoids, probably because of his small chest in proportion to the rest of his body. As a conclusion, if this was a real comparison on a bodybuilding stage, I believe it could go either way, but with William being the favorite to get the win if I were to choose a winner. I believe his experience and muscle maturity would be the decisive factors, as Nick Walker has the superior frame and the wow factor on his side. What do you guys think? Who's gonna win this year's Arnold Classic? Is it going to be one of these two or someone else? Let me know in the comment section below. Also like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys and see you next time.